Welcome back to the class of Social Science for Civics, chapter number 3, How the State Government Works, part 3 for class 7. In the contents of part 3, I repeat, in the contents of part 3, we are going to discuss about Vidhan Sabha. Vidhan Sabha, the member of the legislative assemblies that are called MLAs, Vidhan Parishad, the member of the Vidhan Parishad or the Legislative Council, the MLCs, and about the Chief Minister. Legislative Assembly or the Vidhan Sabha. It is said to be the very important aspect in every state, okay? Because Vidhan Sabha has to be present and it's mandatory, it's a part of a government, a state government to be held. It's just like a small parliament for that state. As you all know that we are having the central government and the state government, okay? So here every state is mandated to have one legislative assembly. Legislative Council or Vidhan Parishad is not mandatory. It's depend upon the requirement of the citizen of that particular state. But Legislative Assembly, that is said to be the Vidhan Sabha, is mandatory for the citizens of that particular state. So Vidhan Sabha is present in our 29 states, whatever we are having in our country, India. Now, what is actually the Vidhan Sabha or the Legislative Assembly let me discuss in detail with you all. The Vidhan Sabha, also known as Legislative Assemblies, are the lower houses of the state legislatures of the states of India. Members of the Vidhan Sabha are direct representatives of the people of the particular state, as they are directly elected by the electorate consisting of all adult citizens of that state. What does it mean? It means that every citizen, every member of the Legislative Assembly, that is said to be the Vidhan Sabha, are being elected by every citizen of that particular state who are coming in for the universal adult franchise or who have the right for voting. Its maximum size is outlined in the Constitution of India is not more than 500 members and not less than 60. Okay, so what is actually the margin of the members? We are having 500 members maximum and at least 60 members in the minimum. Less than 60, no Vidhan Sabha can be consist. Now, however, the size of the Vidhan Sabha can less than 60 members through an act of parliament. Now, if the population is less of that particular state and the people who are coming for the adult franchise are also very less. So in that case, it is a decision, totally the decision of the parliament that yes, they can have for the members for the elections of the, I can say, go for the membership, go for the agreement with the, in consisting with the agreements with the having sittings with the president, the prime minister and the cabinet ministers for formation of any Vidhan Sabha. Okay. So, in this case, if it is less than 60 members, we have to make focus about that what is actually the requirement of that particular state is and what is actually requirement of the particular citizens are of that particular state. Now, in this, for example, I can say such as the example of the Goa, Sikkim and Mizoram. Over there the population are being given that Goa's population is very less and Sikkim and the Mizoram too. Now over there as the population is very less, obviously the adult franchise is not so much appropriate that we can have more than 60 members for the legislative assemblies, and the area is also very short where the place the constituencies, representations places can be are very also very small. So in that case, what happens that only the parliament can have the decision whether to have a Vidhan Sabha over there or not. The governor appoint one member to represent the Anglo-Indian community if he or she finds that the community not to be adequately represented in the house. Okay, so in this case, the governor can appoint one Anglo-Indian community to find out that, because actually students see in the Goa, Sikkim and Mizoram, usually that Goa was a place where usually it was a trade area where the Portuguese, the Dutch, okay, the people also settled over there. So at that time they are actually not Indian. They are not by birth they are not Indian, but they have settled over there. So over there the governor can appoint one member from an Anglo-Indian community to take in the consideration regarding the development of that particular area people. Okay, now see, the maximum strength of 404 members state legislative assembly is of Uttar Pradesh. Okay, now see, usually it is said that 404 members state assembly should be there. Okay, but the highest number of the legislative assembly of the members are of Uttar Pradesh, that is said to be 653. Now Andhra Pradesh is having around 295, West Bengal 295, Maharashtra 289, Bihar 243, Tamil Nadu 235, Madhya Pradesh 231, Karnataka 225, Rajasthan 200, Gujarat 182, Orissa 147, Kerala 141 and Punjab 117. So the strength, these are actually the strength that the members of the legislative assemblies. Okay, so usually in Uttar Pradesh, how many members are there in the legislative assembly? There are 653, the highest number of the legislative members. Now here, why there are 653? Because the Uttar Pradesh is said to be the as per the area. Okay, the state area is very big and the largest state in India. So over there, obviously the legislative constituencies, the election areas are greater than any other state. So we are having numerous number of legislative members. So the quantity is 658. 53. After that we are having for the Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal. They both are in the same. They are having the members, legislative members around 295. Then we are having for the Maharashtra 289, Bihar that's 243. Now scores, and the Punjab is having 117 legislative members in the legislative assembly. Now, continuing with the members of the Legislative Assembly, the strength of the State Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir is 111. Now, which is inclusive 24 seats designated for the territorial constituencies of the state. Now, what does it mean? It means the place where the places are lying in the Pakistan, but it is occupied by the Kashmir. Okay, it means that Pakistan and Kashmir both are sharing both the places. Okay, the strength of 5 legislative assemblies are lie between 68 to 90, and these are Chhattisgarh 90, okay, Haryana 90, Jharkhand 81, Uttarakhand 70, Himachal Pradesh 68. Now here, what is it? Why I have taken that Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, or it's coming for the Maharashtra, the legislative assembly members were higher. Now here, why there were 68 and 90? Because it depends on the population and the area of that particular state. You all know that the Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Uttarakhand, they are the states. Over there, these states are being taken off a particular main state. Okay, they are the main sub-parts of a particular state. It means you can say for the Jharkhand, firstly it was a Bihar. From Bihar it was being divided into 2 parts. It became a Jharkhand and Bihar. Now come to Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand was a part of Uttar Pradesh only. So over there, it again a sub part was being done. So area also became small over there. So the member of the Legislative Assembly also became small. Each of the states of Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Nagaland and Tripura has 60 members in their assemblies. The states of Goa and Mizoram each has 40 members in their assemblies. There are 32 members in the assembly of Sikkim. Now, besides these 70 members in the legislative assemblies of the National Capital Territory of India, Delhi, Legislative Assembly of Pondicherry consists of 30 members. So, Delhi, the Union Territory okay, part of India, here having 70 members, and whereas the Pondicherry is having 30 members. Now let's discuss about the MLA. MLA means the member of the Legislative Assembly. An MLA is a representative elected by the voters of the electoral district of the legislature of a particular state in an Indian system of government. The Legislative Assembly consists of not more than 500 members and not less 60 members. The largest state of Uttar Pradesh has 403 members in its assembly. Now, states that has been small population are small in size have a provision for having even lesser number of members in a legislative assembly. Pondicherry, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh have only 30 members each. Sikkim has 32. All the members of the legislative assembly are elected on the basis of added franchise, and one member is elected from one constituency. Okay. Now constituency. What does a constituency mean? Constituency means the area from where the elections are going to be organized. Okay. It means that, for example, I am giving you that the school area, the Ladon Road. Okay. The Ladon Road over here, it is a one constituency, and after that near the area of your bus stand or the area nearby your I can say the railway station. Okay, so there the area is being changed from this road, from this area of Ladon Road. So over there this is said to be the constituency. It means one constituency of the railway station area and one constituency part of will be of the Ladon Road. So this is said to be the constituencies. Now here, just as the President of India has the power to nominate two Anglo-Indians to the Lok Sabha, the governor of the state can also nominate one member from the Anglo-Indian community to the Legislative Assembly if he or she feels that they are not adequately represented. Okay, so what does it mean actually? See students, in India, after, as you all know, that the East India Company people have already dominated us, okay, have already ruled us. So many families in India still today are being from the Anglo-Indians. They are not properly Indians, they are not by birth Indians, they are being settled over here after the British Empire had gone, okay, during the British Empire. So for those people, the President has the authority that two members, okay, he can appoint or she can appoint on their behalf to the legislative assemblies of the particular state. If they feel that the President can appoint in the Lok Sabha and the governor can appoint one person from the Anglo-Indian committee to the legislative assembly if he recognizes or if he feels that they are not being given an equal power or equal right. And why so it is being given? Because India is a democratic country, and over here every person has a right to maintain the law and order and to maintain the equality, especially inside the country. There is no discrimination between the Indians who are living here or the people who are living in India but they are not by birth Indians. Okay, so what actually means? It means that the members or the people who are being settled from abroad to India, they are also being given the right to participate in the legislative assembly if governor or the president really feels that so. So here MLA is actually a person who is being elected directly by the people, okay, and he is said to be the first representative of the people, okay. After that, the MLAs used to go and participate in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, and they become increase because in the political career. So for getting the higher position, if I want to become a chief minister, if I want to become a prime minister, firstly and the foremost thing is that making sure that I have to become an MLA, that is member of the legislative assembly by the public. Then only I can go as per my experience, as per my qualification and as per my involvement in the politics and my deeds and the works, which is going to be impress the people of that particular of my state, and then only I can go after that for the higher level of the things or the position in the political career. Now, MLA is said to be the very important aspect of the legislative assembly. So, in the legislative assembly, the MLAs are, what are the MLAs? They are the representatives directly elected by the citizens for the legislatures of any particular state. Now let's discuss about the qualification of to be an MLA. Okay, what are the qualifications required to become an MLA? The qualification to become a member of the legislative assembly are largely similar to the member of a parliament. Okay, because it is said to be the lower house is said to be a small parliament of any particular state. The person should be the citizen of India, not less than 25 years of age to be a member of the legislative assembly, and not less than 30 years as per Article 173 of Indian Constitution to be the member of Legislative Council. If we are having Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council too, so in that case 25 years of age required minimum for to become the Legislative Assembly member or the MLA. Okay, and as per the to become the member of the Legislative Council, okay, we require the age criteria of 30 years of age. Okay, at least you should be 30 years of age by which you can become the member of the Legislative Council, and 25 years of age by which we can become the member of the Legislative Assembly. Now, Legislative Council's age has been decided under the article of 173 in our Indian Constitution. Now, let's discuss about the powers of the MLA. Firstly, the legislative power. The most important function of a legislator is lawmaking. You all know that the legislatures are being the state legislature or the Indian legislature, the country legislature. They are already having the first power, that is to make the law for the country or for the citizens of its own state. As defined by the Constitution of India, 7th Schedule, Articles 246, I repeat, 7th Schedule, Article 246, MLAs have power to frame laws on the all item in list 2, that is state list, and list 3, concurrent list. Okay, now what is the difference between state list and the concurrent list? Now in the concurrent list and the state list, there are some criteria, some fields are coming which is mandatory in this and mentioned in the state list, and some are mentioned in the concurrent list. Now, what is the difference between the state list and the concurrent list? State list is actually the state list which has been coming for a particular state. Whatever the requirement of any particular states are comes in the state list. For example, electricity, water, supplies, okay, and some land formation, they are coming in the state list. It depends on the agriculture basis also, the items are coming in the state list. Now, examples like marriage, okay, agriculture, some adoption cases, divorce cases, and so many things, they are all coming in the inheritance, property of inheritance cases, they are all coming in the concurrent list. Students, see, concurrent list is a list in which the state powers, the state jurisdiction, and also the Supreme Court jurisdiction, all the jurisdiction regarding the Parliament or the Legislative Assembly, both are to be included in the concurrent list. Okay, but in the state list, only the state people on the state Legislative Assembly members, they can take the decisions. Okay, now some of the items that are police, prisons, irrigation, agriculture, local governments, public health, pilgrimages, burial grounds, etc. These are the items where it comes in the state list. Okay, now one more thing, that over here it doesn't require for the central government or the parliament to be included in this. Okay, it's not mandatory. Only the state people, the state legislative assembly members, they can take the decisions by their own. Some items on which both parliament and the states can make laws are education, marriage and divorce, forests, protection of the wildlife, animals and the birds. Okay, they are on the national basis. So over there, obviously, the parliament and the state both have to be included. Next is said to be the financial power. The next important role of the assembly and the MLA is Fiscal responsibility. Fiscal means financial responsibility related to the money. The Legislative Assembly exercises control over the finances of the state and has to approve the budget presented by the government in power and ensure that the money is allocated adequately and approximately for the business of governance. Now, what does it mean? It means, see, you all know that every year, when the new government used to come, and every year, basically we are having the budget, okay? The budget which is being presented in the parliament or the central government. Now here, the budget is related to that whole India. Now every state also, they have to present their budget. Now over there in budget, what usually happen? They used to take care that every department, every aspect which are being required for the development of the citizen of a particular state or particular country, it has to be followed very adequately. It means very perfectly. No criteria or no field should be left behind for the field in the process of the development, okay? And especially we have to focus, the people, the MLAs used to focus that every citizen of that particular state should get the benefits, either they are from the higher classes or the lower classes. Their basic object is to make the lower class people to maintain their lifestyle properly, just like to the similar to the middle class, okay? They should not be discriminated from the society. Now coming back to the executive power, the legislature also has oversight over the executives. MLAs are expected to oversee and monitor all the programs and schemes that are execute implements. This does not mean that they merely sit on the committees approving beneficiary lists and houses and discriminating how local area and development funds are spent. They are expected to ensure that the executive branch of the government does its job responsibility, reprogressively, transparently, impartially, and in line with the decision taken by the political executive. Now what does it mean? It means that executive power, it means that every member or every legislative member at the MLA has to focus and check out the time, the work performance of each and every MLA. So what they actually stands for, it means that whether you are a part of an MLA, I am a part of an MLA, obviously I will do my work. But with this also, I will also check that whether other members of our parliament are fulfilling all their responsibilities or not. Okay, if anyone I found in that case who is not able to, or who is having any problem in doing the work, or who is doing any sort of correction which is not good for our country or which is not good for a particular state and for the assembly also, so over there I can make them stop in doing that. I can object in their work, I can interfere in their work, okay? Now, so over there it means the MLAs also have the executive powers to check and monitor the work of the different programs what has been launched inside the state. Why it is so? Because all the programs and all the schemes that are being implied in the state, inside the state, are for the development of the particular people. Okay, particular people of the particular state for which they are being representing. Now it means that over there they are expected to show that every branch should perform very nicely. Okay, no branch, no field in the office or in the state, particular state, they should not sit all alone like this idly, and they should not participate for the development of the particular state. Okay, now comes to the electoral power. The state legislatures play a role of electing the president of India. Yes, obviously you all know, and I told you all that for electing the for electing the president of a particular state, of a state, that is India, over there the MLAs also take part for the election, because we the public are the indirect citizen for voting. Okay, the voting is directly done by our representatives to elect the president of a country. Now, elected members of the Legislative Assembly, including with the members of the Legislative Council, if we have, they all help the members or help the people to elect the president of the country. Now constitutional powers. Now here students see one more thing, the most important thing, that the constitution thing powers in which we have to make laws. Now here it's not mandatory that every time the president and every time the parliament has to be involved over here. The state legislatures can make the rules, laws and the rules and regulations for their citizens by their own view or by their own, I can say, requirement. Okay, what is the requirement of the particular state is they can take the decision as per their own. For example, have you seen that during the corona, many states just banned that no one is being allowed to enter the state boundaries. Okay, usually people were traveling from here and there, but especially you have focused about the Karnataka. The government, state government has totally banned that no person will be allowed to leave the state and no person will be allowed to come inside the state. Okay, so whether you are, wherever the place you are, you have to remain over there only till this lockdown properly ends. Now this is actually said to be the constitutional power of a particular state. Now here we are not being allowed to enter anyone or any place. Now one more example I can give you. Just imagine there are the 5 families in a particular area. Now over there the one family is totally banned that no one is being allowed to enter my home. Are you going to go there to home? No, obviously not. Why so? Because they are not allowing you to enter or they will not allow you to go inside their house. So this is said to be the constitutional power of the particular state. Understood everyone? So we have the executive power, the electoral power, constitutional power, including that we have the what sort of power? The legislative power, okay, and we also have the financial powers for the MLAs. So these are usually the powers of the MLAs that we have discussed here. Now we will study about Vidhan Parishad. Vidhan Parishad. Now Vidhan Parishad, which is said to be the legislative council also. You know students, actually Vidhan Parishad is said to be a part of a legislature which is totally based on the population of the particular state and including the demand of the legislative assembly members. Legislative councils once made can be stopped, but legislative assembly once made cannot be stopped. This is the major difference between legislative assembly and legislative council. Okay, now over there, that what is actually legislative council is. Legislative council, the another name of the legislative council is said to be the Vidhan Parishad. Now let's discuss what is actually Vidhan Parishad is. Vidhan Parishad, or said to be the legislative council, forms a part of the state legislatures of India. In India, we are having 29 states. You all know that. In among them, there are the 6 states, those who are having the legislative council also. And they are the Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka, Jammu Kashmir and Andhra Pradesh. Okay. And now Telangana is also been included in this. So we are having 7 states which are enjoying the legislative council too. Now the legislative council serves as indirectly elected upper house of a bicameral legislature. The strength of the Legislative Assembly of the states and the Union Territories have been mentioned in the 3rd schedule of the Representation of People Act 1950, amended from the time to time, and special acts or rules enacted in respect of the particular state or Union Territory thereafter. Now why it is being said that it's totally amended, okay, every time to time, because as per the requirement of the state, the members of the state legislative council, and including that whether the state legislative has to be function or not, it can be changed as per the requirement of the time. Now the maximum strength of the Vidhan Parishad 100, okay, is 100, which is being followed by Andhra Pradesh 90, Maharashtra is having 78, Bihar is having 75, Karnataka is having 75, and Jammu Kashmir is enjoying 36 members on the Vidhan Parishad. So over here maximum strength is of 100, okay, which has been enjoying in the by the Uttar Pradesh, okay, and after that it comes for the Andhra Pradesh, which are enjoying for the 90, and Maharashtra, which is enjoying for the 78 members. Now here the maximum number of the states or maximum number of the members of the legislative council, they are being said to be the indirect cases, okay, indirect members which have been given for the especially for the upper case. Now usually in the Vidhan Parishad is a part where the laws, if it is being present, cannot be made until and unless the law go with through the Vidhan Parishad, okay, the legislative council. For example, as I told you for the money bill, what happens in the money bill? The money bill, firstly it used to get formulated in the or made in the Vidhan Sabha, or you can say legislative assembly. Now over there, after making it is being passed to the Vidhan Parishad if the legislative council is being present in that particular state, okay, and then it goes to the hands of the governor and then it passes to the president for signing. Now it is all being done in a formulation of a proper regulation or the systematic work schedule. Now, what are the qualifications that are being required for becoming an MLC? Each member of the state legislative council serves for 6 years of term with terms staggered so that the terms of the 1/3 of the state legislative council's membership expire every 2 years. Now what does it mean? It means usually students, it has been said that no place in the legislative council is said to be a vacant place. Why so? Because it happens that, for example, today this time is 2020, the members are being elected, okay. Now here after every 2 years the member of I've been made a legislative council member in 2020. Now after every 2 years, for 6 years I will make my procedure, but after every 2 years the elections will be held. Just take an example that Priyanka ma'am is being elected 6 years back, 2014, okay. In 2014 she completed her tenure in 2020. Now after completing the tenure, obviously the elections will be there. Firstly 2014 election was being done, then 16, then 18, now in 20, and as in the elections of the 20, what's going to happen? Priyanka ma'am is going to leave her place, okay. She is going to leave her place because it's a term for the 6 years only, and after that in the new election I have been appointed on the place of Priyanka ma'am. So usually students, it happens that the no place is said to be the vacant or had to be kept vacant until unless a new elections come. So after every 2 years, the people who are completing their 6 years tenure, they are being resigning from there or they are being leaving their post, okay. Retire, they get that properly retirement, okay. After that they cannot apply for any of the legislative member or the legislative council. Now this arrangement parallels that for the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is also having the same case, the upper house or the Parliament of India. MLC, what is the qualification actually required is, should be the citizen, okay. Now he should possess 30 years of age. I have already told you, to become the legislative council member or the MLC. Now should be mentally sound. Mentally sound over here means should not possess any of the mental problem, okay. Should be very peaceful in attitude, okay. Should not be involved in any sort of conflicts, okay. It should not be insolvent. Insolvent means should not have any sort of corruption work, involved in any corruption, theft, bribery, murder or something like that, okay. Must enroll on the voter list. Yes, obviously the person should be enrolled on the voter list, okay. He or she should be the member of the adult franchise, okay, should vote the election, or he or she may not be the member of the parliament at the same time. Now make sure for becoming the legislative assembly member or the legislative council member, you have to make sure that you should not be involved in any of the political career regarding the parliament. The size of the legislative council cannot be more than 1/3 of the membership of the state legislature assembly. However, its size cannot be less than 40 members. Now see what's been written. It's written, just imagine, take the 1/3 of the 100 members, okay. What's the 1/3 of 100 members? That will be around 33, okay. Now the 33 members should be the part of the legislative council. Okay, can become the part of the legislative council. 33 members should be adopted and can be elected for the members of the legislative council, but they cannot be from the MLAs itself. Okay, MLAs are very different from the MLCs. Now students, look how the MLCs are chosen, okay, and what is the procedure of their selection. 1/3 are elected by the members of the local bodies such as municipalities, Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samitis and district councils, okay. Now 1/3 are elected by the members of the legislative assembly of the state from among the persons who are not the members of the state legislative assembly. 1/6 are being nominated by the governor from the persons having the knowledge or the practical experience in the field of literature, science, art, corporate movements and the social services. Okay, so over here it means that 1/3 are being related to some of the scenario of the government sector positions, municipalities, gram panchayats and gram samitis. Okay, some members 1/3 from the legislative assembly also. Okay, members of the legislative assembly, where the legislative assembly members to the people, to the representation who can become at the post for the legislative council. Now 1/6 are being nominated by the governor itself, who are having the incredible work in the field of science, art, literature, okay, any other social services they have done for the betterment. For example, as we said that Amitabh Bachchan is a member of a legislative council. He is not a legislative MLA. He is not an MLA. He is a member of the legislative council of the Rajya Sabha. Okay, 1/12 are elected by the person who are the graduates of 3 years standing residing in that particular state. Graduates. Okay. Now 1/12 are being elected by the persons engaged at least 3 years in teaching of any educational institution within the state. Okay, not lower than the secondary schools, including colleges and universities. Now, and the people who have done incredible work in the field of education also, among them 1/12 are being elected as an MLC. They can be elected as an MLCs. Now see this flow chart. This is showing the composition of the legislative council. Okay, constituencies, and another one is said to be the number of the members to be elected. From the graduates 1/12, teachers 1/12, local authorities nearly 1/3, assembly members nearly 1/3, and rest whatever have been left, the remaining part is being elected by or selected by the governor. Now let us discuss about the chief minister. The chief minister, who is said to be the very important person of the state government. Okay, just like as the prime minister for any country, any democratic country, same like the chief minister is also very important for any state government or the state legislature. In the Republic of India, a chief minister is the head of the state government of each of the 29 states. It means every 29 states are having their own chief minister. Okay, and including that 8 union territories, among them there are 3 of them are having their chief minister. According to the Constitution of India, at the state level, the governor is the de jure head. De jure means over here the supreme head, okay, but de facto executive authority rests with the chief minister. Now here, as it has been said for the president and the prime minister, for the central government or for the government of any country, that president is the head of the state, president is the head of the country, but he is said to be the nominal head. Okay, mostly the executive powers lies in the hand of the prime minister. Same like here with the state government, the governor is said to be the head of the state, of the particular state in which we are living, but the executive powers are mostly lies in the hand of the chief minister. Same you can in comparison this all activity like an olden times the king. The king was the head, every decision was being taken according to the king only, as per the decision taken by the king. But mostly the powers of the person of that kingdom lies in the hand of the prime minister. Prime minister tells that what actually is better for the country or not. Now, The governor is a state's de jure head, but de facto executive authority rests with the chief minister. So, the chief minister is called to be the real executive of the government. Now, who is said to be the real executive of the government? Chief Minister. Article 164 of the Constitution say that the Chief Minister shall be appointed by the governor. Okay. Now, as per the Article 164, it is being said what? That the governor has the authority to appoint the Chief Minister. Now, for the appointment of the chief minister, usually students see in a constitution there is not at all mentioned that what is actually the qualification required for the appointment of the chief minister. Okay, what it basically requires, one or two things that is essential, that is said to be that he should or she should be the citizen of the country, and he or she should be the resident of the particular state. Now here it is being usually said that according to the article 164, as I have told you earlier, that governor has the authority to appoint the chief minister, but it does not mean at all that the governor can appoint anyone whoever he like as a chief minister. Okay, they are a proper criteria of the elections. Political parties have to go through the elections, and as per the elections of the whoever the party wins, from that winning party, the governor has authority to select a person, the major head of the political party head, okay, or the winning team, to be being in the position of the chief minister. Now, what are usually the powers and the functions of the chief minister? Now see, usually the functions and the powers of the CM or the chief minister are being classified into following heads. Number one, with the respect of the council of ministers. Now here what actually the powers he is having. He advises the governor to appoint any person as a minister. It is only according to the advice of CM, that is the chief minister, the governor appoints the ministers. Whoever the people or whoever the legislative assembly members or whoever the citizen of that particular state who are being capable of handling up the major departments of the state government, the positions are being given and appointed by the governor, but only on the advice of the chief minister. Second is said to be the allocation and the reshuffling of the portfolios among the ministers. Now what does it mean? It means that among the ministers they can tackle or they can handle from one department or shift it from one department to another. For example, I want to say for Smriti Irani. Okay, Smriti Irani, firstly she was being appointed as an, in the cabinet, in the central government, she was being appointed as an entertainment minister. Okay, she was to the broadcasting minister. Now after that, after some time she was being shifted to the educational department, and then now she's been shifted to the textile department. So what does it mean? That the ministers can be shuffled or been given any other work, any other department as per their qualification or as per the requirement or the need of the particular department, that this person will be very suitable to tackle the departments to whom or to what they are being given for. Now in case of the difference of opinion, he can ask minister to resign. Now if the citizen of that particular state is having or facing the problems regarding any particular criteria or the department, the chief minister also have the authority that they can get the chief minister, the department minister, okay, the cabinet minister or the council of minister, anyone that would leave your post and resign from your post. Directs, guides and controls the activity of all the ministers. Okay, it means that chief minister is actually the basic important person who guides also, who controls also, and who directs also for all the activities done by the ministers. You can take an example for your school principal. What do your principal do? Your principal used to guide, used to evaluate, used to direct also, used to inspect also, and take control that whether all the teachers or the staff members and the students are performing well or not. And according to that, they can make the teacher's work. Okay, now in that case, if any other teacher is unable to fulfill his or her responsibilities, he has authority that he can make the teacher to be terminated from her or his post. Now, if the chief minister resigns, then the full cabinet has to resign. Yes, that's the most important point you have to think, and you have to keep in mind. Okay, if the chief minister resigning from the post, then obviously the whole cabinet ministers have to resign from their post. Why so? Because as the chief minister resigns, over there the party changes. Okay, over there again the re-elections are being done for the post of the new chief minister. So over there the cabinet ministers who are being elected under the concentration of that particular chief minister, they also have to leave their post. Now, coming with the respect to the governor, what the powers or the functions do the chief minister have? Under the Article 167 of our Constitution, the chief minister acts as a link between the governor and the state council of ministers. The functions with the respect of the governor are as follows. Number 1, CR has to communicate to the governor all the decisions of the council of ministers relating to the administration of the state. Now, what does it mean? It means that, for example, I am telling you with giving and defining an example. Whatever the activity is going inside a school, okay, for everything, a director ma'am, okay, a director sir, a chairperson sir, the director ma'am, they all are being included, okay, but they all are taking the decision and they all are planning for doing any activity inside the school only and only on the basis on the conversation done with the conference done with the principal sir. Okay, without principal sir involvement, no decision is being taken regarding the school or regarding the school premises. Okay, school work. So same like here in there with the government, whatever the governor is doing, he is only and only doing on the basis on the communication or the conversation done with the chief minister of that particular state. Whenever the governor calls for any information, whom he used to call? The chief minister has to give the reports for that. They are not going to call up for any other council ministers that I need the report, you just give me the report. No, he is going to ask for the reports from the chief minister itself. Same like here, if your director ma'am is asking any report of the school, okay, what has been the improvement in the education sector of the students, and what are the teaching scenario going on, the teaching aspects going on in the school done by the teachers. So these all are going to be asked by the principal, okay, of the school, not individually by the teacher itself. She is not going to call individually the teacher, please come, you come for the SSC subject or the English subject or the math subject. No, she is not going to call like that. She is going to call the principal that you give me the report of what actually the performance is going on inside the school premises regarding the students and regarding the teachers also. Okay, the governor can ask for the consultation of council of ministers when a decision has been taken without the consultation of the cabinet. Okay, now here what does it mean? If any decision is being taken by the chief minister without the consultation of the cabinet ministers, okay, of that particular state, okay, in that case the governor can ask the council of ministers also to give their own advice regarding the same. The CM advises governor regarding the appointment of important officials like Attorney General, State Public Service Commission, Chairman and the members, and State Election Commission, etc. Now here, Chief Minister is also giving advices not only for appointing for the Cabinet of Ministers or the Council of Ministers, but also he is giving his advices for the appointment of some government officials like Attorney General, State Public Service Commission. Okay, there he is able to give the advices for the position of the chairperson and the members, and also for the State Election Commission. With respect to the state legislature, now all the policies that are being announced by him are on the floor of the house only. He cannot declare any of the decision or any of the policy from his residential area, okay, from his own house. No, over there he has to be call up the meeting in the legislative assembly, in the house, in the lower house, okay, and there he is going to announce for any rules and regulations or any policy which he is going to plan for his state. He recommends dissolution of the Legislative Assembly to the governor. Now, if the members of the Legislative Assembly are doing whatever they like to do and they are not listening to the Chief Minister, to the Speaker, to the Deputy Speaker, so in that case, the Chief Minister can ask the governor to dissolve the Legislative Assembly also. He advises the governor regarding summoning, proroguing the session of the State Legislative Assembly for time to time. Now, over there, he can also ask the governor to inspect the work of the Legislative Assembly time to time. If anything is going wrong happening inside the Legislative Assembly, he can ask to dissolve it, he can ask to stop it, and he can also ask or send any of the notice period, especially for the legislative members, if they are doing anything wrong inside the Legislative Assembly. Now, other functions for the Chief Minister are, at the ground level is the authority to be in contact with the people regularly and know about their problems so as to bring about the policies on the floor of the assembly. Now, what does it mean? It means that over there, that if your principals don't know that what is the requirement of what do the teachers require more to improve their work proficiency and what do the students require from the teachers or from the school to develop their personality, to develop their more education scenario. So how the principal is going to know about it? Unless and until the principal is going to involve himself with the teachers and the students, okay? In the meeting, in the school assembly or in any other criteria, the parents-teacher meets or something like that, he used to interact with the parents, he used to interact with the kids also, that to know that what actually the betterment they require from themselves. Some requirement might be there that the teacher is not good, she is not teaching well, so we want to replace the teacher, or we want more creativity in the education sector for more development, okay. So all these being only involved are known by the principal when he or she involved himself with the students and with their parents and their family members, including with the teaching staff. Same like here, the CM, the Chief Minister, has a function that he or she should involve himself with the general citizen of his particular state. So over there, he don't have to focus or she don't have to focus on whatever the function is going on by the department, but he has to focus that what actually my citizen, my people wants for their particular state, for their own development and for the development of the state itself too. Now, he also acts as a chairman for the State Planning Commission. What do you mean by State Planning Commission? State Planning Commission is an organization who used to plan for the development of the citizen of the particular state, okay? Whatever the requirement of the particular state the citizens are having, as per that they used to plan, okay, in my state there is a shortage of water, so I need to require any systematic way where I can develop or give the more water supply to my citizen of my particular state, okay. Now another thing, if I find that my state people are facing problem regarding the transportation, so I am planning on making a policy or making some plan for especially for the development of the transportation to provide more and more good services for my public of my particular state. So this is actually the Planning Commission works tools, and who is the chairman of this Planning Commission? The Chief Minister of the particular state. Now he is also the vice chairman of the concerned zonal council in rotation for the period of 1 year, okay. During emergency, he acts as a crisis manager in the state. Yes, obviously, he acts as a crisis manager. What do you mean by crisis manager? It means that, for example, just imagine that as you have seen that Jaipur has been gone through the flood scenario, okay? Huge flood was there, lots of destruction has also been occurred over there. Now over there, the Chief Minister of the particular state, Mr. Ashok Gehlot, is performing as a crisis manager. He is providing extra help for the needy people, okay, those who are really being suffered due to the flood. Now from the our expression now, I hope it is totally been clear to you that the Chief Minister of India or the Chief Minister of the particular state are having a numerous type of functions and the responsibilities to perform. It's not an easy task to perform. Students, usually it is being regarded that the political leaders or the Prime Minister or Prime President or any of the Chief Minister or the State Cabinet Ministers, State Council Ministers, they are said to be the people who are living a peaceful life. Just they have to go to the office and then come back. Okay, they have no work at all. No, that's totally wrong. Yes, these people, those who are working as in the part of the legislatures, either it's a state or related to the country, they are really working very hard for us. Okay, they have to keep in mind for each and every little bit scenario aspects of every citizen. Okay, they have to see and check out the norms of the constitution also, and according to that only they have to perform. They cannot perform beyond the constitution laws. They have to first see the constitution, and then according to the constitution they have to plan. So it is not an easy task to perform. To become a politician is not an easy task. Whatever you see in the movie channels, the TV channels or the movies, okay, that is something very different. They are showing you a very different criteria of the politician, a different aspect of the politicians. But actually the politicians, or especially I can say the executives of our state, of a country, they are really working very hard for us. Okay. Now, the CM, the Chief Minister, is said to be the leader of the MLAs. It means the member of the Legislative Assembly, and they are being elected by the general public of the state itself. It means that whatever the elections we are having every after 5 years, so every 5 years we are electing a party to be govern the state, and from among them the leader is being appointed of that particular party as the Chief Minister. Okay, this was actually the functions and the authorities, responsibilities of the Chief Minister. Now, come let's discuss about some important terms coming in the political scenario, okay, in form of a glossary. Firstly is called the public meeting. Public meeting means commitment the government carried out, protest and put forth there. Now what does it mean? It means that when the government used to meet the general public, okay, they used to carry out that whatever the requirement the people are having, whatever the objections they are having for any of the policies regarding the government work scenario, and to change all those policies and come with a new good policies which is going to be the betterment of the citizens. Next is said to be the press conference. Now press conference is said to be an interview given by the journalist by a prominent person in order to make an announcement or answer questions. Now, as you also see in the TV channels, that newspapers also, they used to have the press conference. What is a press conference? If they have some new policies, new announcement. See, Prime Minister or the Chief Minister cannot go here and there, one door-to-door person to the citizen of the whole state or the whole country to give define the policy or the announcement he had made or rule he had made for the betterment of the citizens. Now over there what do they take the help of the media, and for the media what they do the press conference. Now over there the journalists are being called, over there the people used to define their announcement, they do their announcement, but the policies or any law or any rules or regulations. Apart from it, the press conference are also being held for asking the cross questioning with the senior authorities. Next word is the impeachment. Impeachment is actually a process where you can say the executives, when the executives are being told to resign from their post, leave their post, okay, as they are being indulged in any wrong or illegal work which is beyond the Constitution of India. That process is actually known as impeachment. Impeachment is a process where they are being given some duration to prove themselves that whether the work is being done by them was right or wrong. Okay, in that the duration, the jurisdictions also, they used to find out whether he is or she is a sinner regarding the same case or not. If he or she is being found guilty regarding it, he or she can be told to leave or resign from their post, and they can be also go for the punishment as per the constitution norms. Now, The impeachment is really, now understand with the word, the process by which a legislative body level charges against a government official. Okay, impeachment does not in itself remove the official definitely from office. It is similar to an indictment in criminal law, and thus it is essentially the statement of charges against the official. Okay, over there the general public is not being involved, only the senior authorities are being involved in the process of impeachment. Next term is the constituency. A constituent is a voting member of a community or organization and has the power to appoint or elect. Now, what is a constituency? A constituency is all of the constituents of a representative. It is sometimes called a parliamentary seat or a division. Constituencies for local government elections are called either wards or electoral divisions. Now understand. Ladon Road is a constituency, okay, where we are going for the election. The area, the members or the citizens of that particular area are going for the election, and for the Ladon Road constituency, one person is being elected. Okay, we are going for the, over there 5 members who are being, or the 5 people, the politicians have raised their hand for the elections. They have participated, the leaders have participated, and among those 5 we are electing only one. Okay, so that's a set. We will be the constituent. Okay, Ladon Road will be the constituency. Got it? It will also said to be the wards or the electoral divisions. Now, represent. What does a represent means? A person such as lawyer or the politician represents a person or a group of people. They act on behalf of that person or group. This you already know that all the members of the Legislative Assembly are said to be the representatives of on behalf of the citizen of the particular state. Why so? Because one member who has been elected as an MLA or the member of the Legislative Assembly is said to be the representative of his own area. Okay. Now here it means that Ladon Road. From the Ladon Road, just imagine, I am giving an example. Mr. Sharma is being elected as a Legislative Assembly from the Ladon Road area. Okay, from this ward. So he will be representing all the citizens of this Ladon Road. Now here he is said to be the representative, and the activity he is doing is said to be the represent. So I hope you have all understood that how do the state government works. What are the basic scenarios? The state legislature is being divided. What is said to be the upper house and what is said to be the lower house? It means the Vidhan Sabha and the Vidhan Parishad. What are the functions of the MLAs? The speaker, the deputy speaker. What is the position or the basic requirement of the governor? Including that, what is actually the chief minister do and how is the chief minister elected, and what actually the powers the chief minister had in his hand. Okay. So understand this chapter very nicely and read it thoroughly. Okay. Till then, have a nice day ahead. Thank you for watching this video.